time video recipe from the Heathen Vegan. As always, I'm so happy that you guys are here and that you're going to join me for another recipe. For those of you that are already subscribers, I just want to take a quick second to thank you. As always, from the bottom of my heart, I really do appreciate it. For those of you that are new to the channel, I hope that you guys end up sticking around and you guys end up becoming subscribers also. Today, I'm really excited. I'm going to show you guys how to make gluten-free vegan chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. You're going to need to make these gluten-free vegan oatmeal chocolate chip cookies is you are going to need 3/4 of a cup of softened butter, obviously vegan. You're also going to need 2 eggs. I want to show you real quick because I know in previous episodes I had used Bob's Egg Replacer. Now Bob's Egg Replacer is really great if you're going to use that as a coating to bread things. As far as baking goes, it will do the job. Unfortunately, it will leave kind of a weird aftertaste in your cookies. So I wanted to show you Energy Egg Replacer. This right here is preferred if you're going to bake, like if you're going to bake cookies or cakes, pie crust, even breads. I would recommend getting the Energy Egg Replacer. You're going to need 2 eggs. Energy Egg Replacer is real simple and quick. You put in for every egg 2 tablespoons of warm water and then 1.5 teaspoons of the egg replacer powder. In addition to your eggs, you will also need 1.5 cups of gluten-free flour. And then in here I have 3/4 of a cup of almond flour and then 3/4 of a cup of Bob's 1-to-1 gluten-free flour. Now if you want to mix and match and like put in Casanova and white rice and all those other different flours to make what you prefer for baking, go for it. Just remember, if you do, you have to put in at least 1 teaspoon of xanthan, because if you don't put in xanthan, you won't get the thickening and the cookies will be pretty flat. In addition to that, you will need 1 cup of light brown sugar. You will also need 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. In here I have 1 full teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I also have 2 cups of quick oats. They're gluten-free. To jazz them up a little bit, I did put a pinch of nutmeg in here and about 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You don't have to do that. I just did it because I don't want my oats to be plain. And then we also have 3/4 of a cup of walnuts. Again, you don't have to put the walnuts in. I want to put the walnuts in. And then I also have 1/2 cup of carrot chips. You can use, if you want to use peanut butter chips, you can. If you want to use butterscotch chips, you can. Whatever type of chips you want to use, go for it. You just want to make this plain. If you just want to make this plain oatmeal cookies, go for that too. That's not a big deal. I'm just giving you guys the base recipe to make. You'll also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, like I said, if you want to make this just oatmeal cookies, you can absolutely do that. You can just omit the chocolate chips. You can omit the nuts. Also, too, I mean, let's put this out there also. If you don't want to use walnuts, you don't have to. You can use pecans. You can use almonds. You can even use cashews if you choose to. I mean, again, it's your taste preference and how you want to do this. So if you want to go and make this just plain oatmeal cookies, you absolutely can. You know, you can just omit the chocolate chips. You can omit the walnuts. And, let's get going. So real quick, a disclaimer, it's kind of early in the morning. It's a little bit earlier than the stores open up. My beater's broken, so I would recommend doing this recipe with a beater. I'm not going to. We're gonna see how this works out. You're gonna start by putting your 3/4 of a cup of softened butter into your bowl. Now with this, it's recommended that you use the beater. I'm just gonna really quick just stir it up like this, just so that it's soft. And what you really want to do here, and what the purpose of the beater is to aerate the butter. And aerate, I mean, everybody knows what aerate means, right? It just gets some air in the butter so that it gets like a whipped type of feel to it. And the reason why you want it to get that whipped type of feel to it is because of the fact that the more air you get into your butter, the lighter and fluffier your cookies are going to be, which is also very important when you start mixing in your sugars, because when you mix in your sugars with your butter, the more that you mix them together, the more softer your cookies are going to be. And yes, I mean, your flour is very important too, but without the proper aeration for your butter and your sugars, it's not really going to be as fluffy and as soft as they could be. Now, if you like crispy cookies, flat cookies, go for it and don't aerate it. So if you're like me and you're like, oh my god. So if you're like me and you like nice, fluffy, soft cookies, aerate it. Hi guys, sorry for the interruption. I realized as I was editing this video that my camera didn't record, that my camera didn't record part of the instructions to make your oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. So after you get your butter and your sugars mixed in, and they're mixed in well, you will add your baking powder, your baking soda, your salt, with your vanilla and your eggs, and you're going to mix that up until they're obviously mixed in pretty good. Then what you're going to do is you are going to put in about a quarter cup at a time of both your oats and your gluten-free flour, and you're going to mix it into the flour, and then you will keep on doing that until there's about a quarter cup left in both of your oat bowl and your gluten-free flour bowl. Once you get to where there's a quarter cup left of each, you will put that into the bowl with your walnuts and your chocolate chips, and then you'll mix it up. Now, I am down to my last quarter cup of oats and my last quarter cup of gluten-free flour. I'm going to put in my cup of chocolate chips and my 3/4 cups of walnuts. And I'm going to mix this up. Now, after this gets mixed up, you guys are using gluten-free flour. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to let it sit in the refrigerator for like 20 minutes so that the dough thickens up a little bit. And then after that, you should be able to get it onto your baking pan. In the meantime, while you're waiting for it to firm up in the fridge, you can preheat your oven to 375. Alright my friends, now we're ready to get our oatmeal chocolate chip cookies onto our baking pan and into the oven. It's real simple what you're going to do next. You can use a spoon, you can use a measuring spoon, whatever you'd like to do. I'm just going to use my hands. I'm going to take it and I'm going to roll it into a ball that's about this size. I'm going to gently put them onto my baking sheets. Now, if you like a crispy cookie, I would recommend leaving this in the oven about 12 to 15 minutes. If you want a cookie that's not crispy, that's going to be more soft and chewy, I'd recommend 10 to 12 minutes. Use your discretion when you go and you check on them. Obviously, you want the sides to be a little bit brown to make sure that it's pretty much cooked. What I like to do is after they come out of the oven, I like to put them on a baker's rack to let them cool for a second. And then I end up putting them, while they're still warm, into an airtight container. And I let them cool off that way because when they cool off in the airtight container, what happens is all that steam and all that moisture stays within the airtight container and it continues to let the cookies remain soft even after they have cooled off. So, I have almost all my cookies here ready to get into the oven. And what I also recommend is, in between baking, I would definitely put the dough back into the refrigerator so that it stays firm. Alright my friends, here they are, just a couple of our gluten-free, vegan, oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, or this video, sorry. If you have, please leave a like. If you'd like to see more of my online gluten-free vegan cooking and baking, please subscribe to my channel. Guys, as always, it's been a pleasure to make this video. I hope that you guys may end up making this and that you have a great day. Thanks again for tuning in, you guys.